Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new live stream. We have some fun things planned for today, my goodness. This is from a new library that's actually an old library, but some of these sounds you're hearing you've never heard before because they didn't come in the original library. Now let's see, let's get something a little bit more. Shall we wake you up a little bit? How about something like this? Or how about if we take out the electric piano and the pad and we just have the rhythm stuff? I know you can't see me. I haven't turned it on yet. Hi! I was playing hide and seek. Woo! There we are. Hi, welcome. So this is our weekly live stream. I took a week off. I wasn't here last week. I was camping on a beach in Washington, and I'll share some details and photos from the trip. It was partly disappointing. The reason I went was to photograph the sunrise on the beach. But when you go to the coast, especially in the Pacific Northwest, the number one rule is you have to accept the weather however it is. You found me. Yes, here I am. I'm here. I didn't totally go away. I just partially went away. So anyway, welcome to you all. Look at all the nice names showing up. Tom, Wave Sequencer's here. Multitasking. So Paul's hanging. Les, Norwood, Frank, Kasaka-san in Japan. Arigato gozaimashita. It's a crazy time in Japan, I think, for you to be watching. And he's here every week. Yeah, I appreciate it. There's Ivar. Taylor just showed up. To see, are you still having issues? Just make sure the link is working. What does the crown with three? There's this new thing that YouTube has started doing, giving crowns to people and stuff. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'm more of a democratic. Everybody is the equal special, you know. There's some setting I could go turn off. I'm not going to do it right now, but probably after the live stream, I'll go see if I can figure out what's going on and why it does that, because I don't like that. Because then I get questions like this, like, what's the crown? Why does somebody have a crown? Stuff like that. Anyway, so I have been working for a while in the background on MegaMagic Bells N Winds, one of the best-selling libraries for Omnisphere. Bells and winds are one of those sounds that are really important for so many different genres of music, and everything benefits. You can have a string orchestra and you put a bell with it and it just adds magic. And the original library had a ton. In fact, I was going to go to the website. By the way, there's a sale at the website. If you go to pluginguru.com, you don't have to do anything for this sale. I've given all of you a $20 bill for the weekend to use as credit. All you have to do is go to the products page, and everything is discounted $20 off from the retail price that it's set at. So everything is $20 cheaper than it normally is. The sale ends Sunday night. It's a chance to just buy a library and save some money just automatically like that, right? Anyway, here, this is the MegaMagic Bells N Winds for Omnisphere. And it had 170 sound sources. It had a lot of patches because I made a whole bunch of bonus patches for it and stuff like that. I'm up to 205 patches for the Unify version, but there's a whole bunch of new stuff in here that doesn't exist in that library that came out 8 years ago. Partly because Omnisphere only lets you work with one sample at a time. There's some things I actually went into. Check this out. I'll share some behind the scenes stuff here. If I go over here and open up, this is my project folder. Once my hard drive wakes up, it's an 8 terabyte slow disks. It's not an SSD, but it has all of the development of everything going on, all the libraries. Don't ask me about libraries you see that might not exist. Sometimes there's things here that I'm working on and so forth. But if we go to MegaMagic Bells N Winds for Unify, there is a folder here called, is it VB2 Backup? These are all the samples that I made in June of 2016. And a lot of these I didn't put into the full, and MegaMagic guitar samples are in here because I did both sessions at the same time. But there's a whole lot of sounds in here that I found when I looked in this folder for the Spirit Harp, Ankle Bells, these different Pluck Nebular, the Purity Revival. This was multi-samples. And I decided I didn't want to, in Omnisphere, in order to work with multi-samples, you have to actually make multiple patches and then range limit them so that you're making like a sample map, but you're using multiple patches. It's a pain in the butt. I'm sure in Omnisphere 3, if that ever comes out, I don't know what Spectrasonic is doing, but if they ever do, I'm sure it's one of the things that they'll address is make it so that you can actually have a sample map, the most basic, thing, but they didn't do it. So I didn't include it in the original MegaMagic Bells N Winds for Omnisphere 2. Here I did. If we go up here to Pad, and this is 2016, and notice I'm using Purity in the name. I've released a library now called Purity, but this was the sound. Pretty cool. And when you combine this with some of these different bells, let's go over here to like just instrument one only. And let's have a space Glock. And let's have a finger cymbals with reverb. And let's have chorus dreams. And these bells are loud, so let's turn everybody down a little bit and then pop the pad back up. So, it's nice to have cool pads to go along with the different bell sounds. On top of this, there's other things in this library that are new. There's all these kalimbas, right? Now, when you see in this library, and in the library walkthrough video I'll make, in this library, loop means basically pad, but I wanted to keep everything grouped together by the sound. So like thumb kalimba 3, again, this is Omnisphere 2, which means it has to be one sample. So, because we don't really have that limit inside a Unify, down here in the plugs, there are two different kalimbas. There is this kalimba that I sampled. Got that. So now so it's 2 octaves of kalimba samples. Only in the Unify library, because in Omnisphere you can't do that. In Omnisphere you're stuck with just one sample. And back in the day I could sell it to be like, ooh, that's a really cool kalimba, But it's a lot nicer if you go to Pluck and you actually play, It sounds really nice. Now, and I did some processing too. I also sampled a secondary kalimba That is the wood kalimba down here. That's this beautiful premium little circular kalimba, and it has so that is here. And again, I process these. So if we go up here to the gourd kalimba dry, here it is with this thing called grain verb, an effect setup I set up that and there's also a reverb version. Oh, and I didn't fix that. I was supposed to fix this before the live stream. I'll fix it before I release the library. It's not out yet, right? So those samples, oh, actually, let's see here. If I go over like this, I think I just renamed it. So if I go, maybe not. Yeah, no, I have to fix the samples. I renamed the folder that they're in, so it's like, that doesn't work. Now, on top of that, there's all these new plucks that are not in the library that are synthetic. I decided just to go more bells and winds and not include the synthetics, but I played all of these. And I was like, these are cool. Like Nebular, this is one that I didn't. There's one, a little bit brighter, 3, and then Nebular VS is going through. So this library comes out next week. I can't wait. There's a lot of work going on in the background. By the way, I'll reveal a little secret about Unify 2. There is custom artwork that is in the background of every image. It's really, really, really cool. So since CloudForm, I have been incorporating, kind of like preparing for Unify 2 by having artwork like Baby Bell. And I would say we're about 2 months out from Unify 2 coming out. We're getting closer. We decided to take a big chunk and do something really special, but I can't say anything until we get to that point. But there's custom artwork because when you load up the patch, this is automatically in the background of the patch in a really cool way. So that you can call up patches like cowbell and have a cow looking at you. The finger symbols, I'm having Taylor help me. So Taylor's been making images. He did this one, which actually when you play the loop version is really cool. So, you know, I find that it's cool to have a little visual inspiration to go with the Sonik inspiration. So all these patches have custom images. All libraries going forward will have custom images because we'll talk about that more when we get there. Magic Ice, this is a cool one. In fact, Taylor automated this. You should see the automations tools that are coming are just insane. Guy's acting like he's playing all the cups and stuff like that. Really cool. There's also a bunch of bonus patches I'm making down here at the end. So there's digital and there'll be all sorts of magical stuff going on with this. Yeah, photos of the trip coming shortly. Hi, Richard. Glad to see you here. Welcome. Andy, you're good to be here. Welcome. Good to see you all. And hold on a second. I got to see something. My daughter sent me a text with a picture. Oh, yummy. She's got pastries for breakfast. I'm jealous. There's cool pads like... You heard some of the wave sequence stuff. We'll make some patches at the end of the live stream for this library. There's a couple other things to do. I've got Crow Hill has released a string library that's really inexpensive. I'm going to show you, and we've unified it. I'm going to show you a little tour of the trip that I took to the Olympics. I recorded Ocean there, and we're going to put it into the live stream. Let's see, do I have it in here? Yeah, right here, the live stream bonus library. It's got our firecracker drums. It's got some chords. All this stuff that we've done in the past. We're going to add an Ocean sample to this, and we'll make a patch that lets you play a note to start the Ocean and then change the sound of what's below the Ocean, so you can choose any patch in any library and play that with Ocean. So that's one thing we're going to do. And then we'll make the patches for the Bells and Winds additional bonus patches. So that's the plans. Is this going to be a Unify only library, or is there an expansion for the... like I said, I'm doing things in this library you can't do in Omnisphere 2. You can't, and it's just technical limitations. If I go to the plucks, and again, if I show you this gourd kalimba, this is two. If you can see, let me get to where OBS so I can see what I'm showing you guys. But look at this, has all of these tines for 2 octaves of kalimba action. You can. Then there's another octave above it. So that's 2 octaves of... So not only is it 2 octaves of samples, which is impossible to do in Omnisphere 2, but every note has 3 samples. So as you're playing it, you play the same notes over and over again. It's randomly choosing different. So there's no physical way in Omnisphere 2 to play this one sound. It's just limitations of the program that they've put in place. Won't work. I'm not going to go back and add these samples and stuff to Omnisphere 2. It's so much work. And it's not enjoyable work. I'm kind of done with my Omnisphere phase, to be honest with you. I've got 45 libraries, and there was a time before Unify where it kept me making full-time getting to do this. And so I'm very thankful. But the samples are in a format that's not protected. It got to the point where at the end, I would release a library within like 2 weeks. It would be showing up by somebody else selling it on eBay or putting it to torrent sites. And it's just not a good feeling to see 4,000 downloads of a library that you didn't get paid for. And I don't sell anywhere even close to that number of libraries in the first place. And for that to be the case, I'm not going to support things I can't protect. And one of the things that Shane helped me do when we built Unify was put in protection, so that everything has a license, everything is in its own monolithic format, so it's protected just for Unify. So this is a special version just for Unify, and it has over 300. Actually, it's like 400 megabytes of additional samples. On top of that, I also sampled this. Da-da-da. And I sampled it with both a soft stick and a hard stick, so we got glockenspiel. I call it school glockenspiel because it has tape and paint and all sorts of stuff on it, but it's both in soft and again, if you open up this One Guru sampler and you look at the samples in this, it goes off the screen. Let's see if I get this even like this. I think you can see it's a lot of samples. So again, Omnisphere can't do this. The hard samples, we can now play our favorite Rush line from Neo Peart. And I put these also through the grain verb. So it's really pretty. And the soft, again, I'm still working on the library, so there's things to fix. So there's hundreds and hundreds of new samples, 3 completely new instruments that are multi-sampled deeply included in the library that make it special from all the other versions. It's been released for Serum, for Contact with its own interface, for Omnisphere 2. This is a special version which has a whole lot of new stuff. These parachute pads, these are in none of the Bells N Winds libraries. And this number 4 is super cool. It's got this cool motion. Always use protection. Exactly. So, this will be coming out next week. I expect I'll probably get another 20, 30 bonus patches. I'll try to get to like 250, I think, for this library would be a good target. Some of these bonus patches are super cool. There's all these winds and harmonicas that I'm going to play with. That's actually my echo harp, which is right behind me. Lassie, come home. But you see there's a loop version right next to this where it's nice and slow. And the detuned reeds just make for a lovely pad. Like if I take this and combine this, we might be making a bonus patch right now. Let's do this. Let's get this to be like a slow evolving thing. So let's... And let's have it have a little rhythmic element. So let's have it do a custom little pulse at like 8th notes. Change the this is one of the cool things with the LFO inside of Guru Sampler. You can change the shape of the curves. You're not stuck with the curves that are just... And I'm going to bring down the velocity so I get 100% the same frequency content every time. Let's make this even sharper. I'm going to add a breakpoint. And let's put this through the delays, which is auxiliary 2. And look at my delay lines. I want to set these to be quarter note and a quarter note dupe. Brighter so I hear more of the frequencies. And then on top of this, let's add one more element. 3 is a nice element combination. So let's add a pan flute. So go to the winds, pan flute 2. I'm going to add the loop version. So let's solo this because we're going to mess with it. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop it to be into its own layer. If you hold down Control and Option and click the bullet, that will pop a Unify layer to just keep the first layer and everything else goes away. So then you can edit. I'm going to find a brighter. I want it to be a wind. So let's go back here to these guys. That'll work. But I want it to be the loop. So we go to the loop version means I looped it. So it stays there. And let's bring down the filters. So I want it to be just sitting at a certain point, and then I'm going to put a sample and hold LFO on it. So let's go notes, sync shape of sample and hold. And I'm going to have to put a high pass filter. So I want this to kind of like do this percolating bubbly thing. And let's use noise box as a fake high pass filter. So bring this up, it's distorted. Bring down the curve. You know, well, let's try it. Then here's a high pass filter. Just to control the low end so it doesn't get that puppy sound. And it's a little dirty. Let's see how that sounds in the mix. I can also turn down the input a little bit. So it's just a little hair. Maybe my pad, I need the pad right here. I want it to be a different pad because it's a little bit dark. Let's see what other pads we have. Purity Revival. It would be nice with this. I have another pad that's a combination. So let's say duplicate this layer. And let's have this second layer be something from the standard. This is one reason why I love how Unify is designed. I can go to the standard library. I'm going to go to MegaMagic, let's say violin, to the Dream Ensemble. And let's use transpose to shift it up an octave. Just one thing, I might not have talked about this for a long time, but there's transpose and coarse. And the difference is transpose shifts the notes, whereas coarse shifts the sample playback speed. Like if I take it up an octave this way, hear how it's shifting the samples? So it's a whole different sound, right? If you use transpose, it doesn't change this until I play new notes because it's shifting the MIDI notes. So it stays normal. So those are two different effects you can play with, and then Shift kind of does what you hear with this, but it also shifts the key map at the same time so that you can go from bright. This has some samples, so it should work. It's playing them different. So you can use both of these to change the timbre of the samples. Let's say I want more air, so I'm going to keep it normal. All right, now when we put these all together, the sample and hold, we got a pulsy thing, and we have two different pads. Let's pan our pads left and right, put them through some reverb, which is on auxiliary bus number 3, and cool. And then what I would do, let's see. This right here is a really important part of Guru's sampler. This is where we tell the mod wheel, I'm going to reset it for everybody so that when I move the mod wheel, it doesn't do anything. Because I want certain sounds to change and certain sounds not to change. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the mod wheel, and then I can go through here. I want that pad to go away, and I want the strings to go away, and I want the harmonica to go away. So I have all this range on the mod wheel. Right? So that's pretty cool. What should we call this? Yes, it's a nice harmonica. Galactic thrombosis, wow. I bought MegaMagic Dreams for the wave state. Is that only for the waves? Yes. The libraries that are for something are the for version for that hardware, software, plugin hardware that you own. I like that name. Spirit Shifter. How about we call it Spirit Thrombosis? I'm not sure about Galactic, but I like. Let's combine the two. Z BPM pad. Spirit. How about Spirit Dance? Our Spirit Dancer, because it's got a kind of a dancey thing to it. Yes. So just to follow up on the 4, I make bonus patches and spend 2-3 months on each one of the libraries to make it for that format. I have to save every patch, do all the knob assignments, make the bonus patches and so forth. So I feel it's fair to charge. I don't charge a lot of money for these libraries in the first place. Considering they completely reinvent whatever plugin or software or hardware you're using, it's a whole different instrument with these libraries. So I hope you understand. Each library is a chunk of my heartbeat put into making those sounds. So I get to be paid for the amount of energy I put into that. So let's do let's see, made during the July 19th live stream. Save as, and we'll save that. And oh, you know, there's a couple things we've got to do. So wake up the hard drive and stuff like that. It's money well spent. Thank you. It is. It's a win-win. You keep me alive, paying my bills, having a decent life that inspires my spirit so that I can keep coming back and making. I want to put bonus in here as one of the key tags. So that way, when you go to the library and you say bonus, it will give you all of the new samples. These are all new samples. Also, these ankle bells are so cool. You know, dry, it's okay, but you put it into reverb and loop it, and it's super cool. I've heard tons of albums start with sounds like this. In fact, that first pad that I played at the beginning, Love's Gift, this has that in it. It's right here. And I'm doing, this is a trick that we did in the Korg M1 in the 80s. I'm using an LFO that is cycling, in this case, through the cutoff. I could have it do pitch, and it'd be even more dramatic. You'd hear it even more in the. Some sounds just work really well. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a little pitch. Let's set this to like 5. Yeah, that makes it stick out even more. I was doing just filter, and it was kind of subtle. I wanted to stick out a little bit more, so we'll do pitch too. So having texture sounds like that you loop with a slow LFO, that's a trick we did in the M1 days. McKelly did that for Universe. The very first patch in the M1 had this choir with this sound that there's sound on the second layer that was doing this really called Lore, which is a really cool additive synth sound made by Charlie Bright at Korg in New York, stuff like that. So just gives you this cool motion that's not like in your face. Really cool. Okay, so we'll come back. We'll make some more bonus patches. That was really fun to make this. I think the harmonic could actually start. Hear how it's fading in? I don't want it to start. I want it to be right at the beginning. So let's take off the attack of the amp. Yeah. I don't mind it not being there for the first, but I don't want to have a slow fade in. And where is it? It's right here. I think I have to use a high pass filter. I'm not a fan of the distortion in this, so we'll go EQ filter max. This is our built-in little high pass filter that can do all high pass, low pass, notch. Super handy, so I can let's say like 22. Another nice thing, did you ever notice that our pan settings are easy to get to values that are plus and minus the same? Instead of like 0 to 127 or left 52 and right, it's some things it's so hard to do panning things, but here it's really easy. There. If you do any edits to a patch, just hold down Option or Alt and click Save, and that's a quick update to save the patch. So I have updated the patch just like that. Okay, so let's get into showing you trips from the live, the trip that I took, from the live stream. So I started here in Eagle, and it's about 800 miles No, it's a little bit less than that. It's about 600, somewhere around there. I went and spent the night with my buddy John Bowen and his wife in Washington. They have a guest bedroom, and I get to hang out there when I've been there. Let's see here. Let's go down to the very beginning. Look at all these photos I get to show you. It was super foggy, as you can see. Let's see. I think a picture of Athena is going to show up in a second. Let me get this formatted so you can see it like that to that. And then I can open this up bigger. It's being slow, so hold on a second. Let's go like that. So, yeah, so, yep, there's Athena. She loves to lay there with her ball in her mouth. When I got to the beach on the afternoon of Thursday, this is what I was greeted with, was foggy. It was 100 degrees in the valley, and that pulls a fog bank into the beach. So it was really foggy. It was beautiful, kind of mysterious, you know. I did I had a macro lens, all sorts of stuff with me, different types of photos. I love this. Isn't this cool? This one here, I really love. This will probably be I'm getting to put my own images into the photo database for Unify 2. We get to have pictures you get to choose. Some of these will be in that collection to choose from, which is going to be really fun. But it was still beautiful. I use my same camera that I'm talking and you're seeing me on now is what I use to take my pictures. This is the one that will probably be in the interface for Unify 2. And this is with a nice high resolution camera, so the detail is there to really see what's going on. You can actually zoom in even more to see the waves and everything like that. It's such a really cool vibe to be there. So, and let's see, as we keep going, this is about where I stopped for the day. There's one here that's really cool with the waves. I like this where you got the reflection. Isn't that cool? And then the waves came up and did this really cool pattern. That's kind of like this checkerboard. And there's another one where just the water. And then here's one with the motion of the waves with a slower exposure. This is 1/10 of a second. So it's a little bit slower. And then I really wanted this S curve leading to the two stacks in the middle. This is on the Washington coast. If you're not familiar, there's a beach. It's by La Push. And it's become a lot more popular than it used to be. It's called Second Beach. And it's my favorite beach on the West Coast. It just has a great vibe. You can camp there for $11 a night. It's wonderful. If you have ear tinnitus, staying on this beach for a couple days is like the best therapy on the planet for your ears. It's a beautiful, gentle white noise that's just massaging your ears and helping it reprogram. I had tinnitus from playing drums. I've told this story a number of times. I played for a number of years in a church, just wailing like crazy on the drum set. And I damaged my ears. And then I did a ton of photography at waterfalls, spent time at the ocean for a number of years. And I think that either that or just God came down and did a little miraculous thing. But I don't have tinnitus right now. I can sit here and there is no ringing in my ears. It went away, which it's not supposed to go away. So I'm not sure. It was 10 years ago or so that this happened. And it was a weird time because I'm a sound designer. I make my living with my ears. I had this ringing in my ears. I'm like, how am I going to do my job with this ringing? And one day I was making sense for my kid and I was in a happy mood, which I hadn't been for a long time because the ringing in your ears doesn't go away even when you're in a place that's totally quiet. But it went away. However it went away, it's thank God. And, this is my tent where I was camping out. There's more of that coming. So there's these really cool things. This is the morning when I got up. Just for perspective, That's one person fairly far away from the sea stack. They're huge, massive size sea stacks. They're just gigantic. Here's the people over here. See them compared to these sea stacks. So these are not little tiny things. They're huge. I love this one here with the water line. I like to do stuff where I line up in the ocean and catch the line just as it's coming across. So I love that one. That came out really nice. There's all sorts of life at the ocean. Now this is the morning when the full moon is setting, the sun is coming up, and whenever that happens, just by the way of physics, it makes for a low tide, a super low tide. So normally the water line is up here somewhere, right? Like here. So we're getting to walk in places and see things that you normally don't get to see because it's normally covered. These guys are normally living in the ocean water, right? And stuff like that. So anyway, it was really lovely to do this. And then I went and I had an omelet in the town of Vortx. I came back, I took a little nap and rested my ears. Oh, there's some portrait pictures here somewhere coming up. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. So here I am standing where I should be underwater, you know? It's pretty funny. These birds were hanging out in the cliffs, so I took some pictures. I have to show you. Just see here if I go to my photos. And where's that at? It's going to open up a window. You got to see this picture. This is what I hiked in with. It's about a mile hike from the trailhead where you park. Are you going to... Let's see. There we go. So let me move over here and find this photo really quick. Let's see, down here. This is what my load in, load out was. Hello. So that's my backpack with tent, sleeping bag. I got an little air pad because beach sand is not soft. And then my camera bag, which has 3 lenses. I've got a carbon fiber tripod. That's what I carried in and out from my hike to the beach. So it's a lot of work to get there. But because of having 3 lenses, I was able to take a whole bunch of different photos. I love this one. Check this out. Sea life, all the urchins and the starfish and everything. I mean, that's everywhere you look. It's just stunning. I caught some waves as they were doing their thing, which was fun. And then I went back in the afternoon and checked this out. I started like walking around and taking pictures. I was trying to do some long exposures. I have 10-stop neutral densities. Some of these I haven't even touched up yet. This is straight out of my Sony camera. But you see this water is all super blurry like this. That's from the exposure time. Let's see if I go to information. This is 20 seconds. So 20 seconds gives you this really nice, and I think some of these actually went even like 25 seconds and so forth, right? And then notice the blue. And all of a sudden, I found these birds, and while I was photographing them, it started to clear. And it cleared more and more and more as I was shooting different birds. And I love this one here with the birds standing in line, you know. It got really pretty for a minute there with the clouds and I just like crazy, beautiful stuff. So I love that shot. There's a starfish that had fallen off from one of the rocks. So I picked it up and put it back onto a colony of rocks by the water so it'd be all right. So that's its little footprint from where it was. Dead crabs, little things found and stuff like that. More birds. There's seagulls. This is a freshwater stream that comes down that they were enjoying taking baths and drinking water at. So I was taking pictures of them. And then I went back and chilled at my tent. I did some pictures of the sand for really cool textures. And I kind of like took another, just chilled, listened to the ocean. That's why I'm there, is to listen to the ocean, because it's a it's a therapy on my, and then at what time was it? At 9:06, the sun sets at 9:20, 9:25, 9:30. I stuck my head out thinking it was going to be foggy, and it wasn't. It was beautiful. And so I ran out, got my backpack, scrambled, and took some really nice pictures of the sunset and the fading light. It was just beautiful. So like this shot here, some of these will be inside of the interface for Unify 2, I think, and stuff like that. Let's see, get my line to be about right for the horizon. I can also hit the auto button, and sometimes it does it right, where it looks at it right. Does that look right? About right. No, it still looks wrong. So you can't have tilting photos of water, or else it looks like you're gonna like fall into the ocean, right? Like part of the screen's gonna. There you go. So it was just stunning, and it kept getting better and better. Again, these are unprocessed. You know, when you take a photo like this, that's about right. But when you start working with you can get more color to come out of it, more clarity, and I can get the black levels up just a little bit, and the shadow details up, and the exposure up a little bit. There's a lot I could do to make these even more optimized, you know, for the final versions of the images, but this is pretty much straight out of the camera. Here's my tent with the little headlamp that I travel with. Next, that's how close I was to the ocean, just right there. It's just awesome to be that close to the ocean. It's something I'm going to do next year. I might even go before then. Oh, this is another really cool perspective shot. Look at this. This one person just right there. Look at that. It's just crazy. There's another of a person standing right there amidst these giants. I mean, it's just crazy. Here's a cool shot for perspective. Not only these people, but over here are two people with their phones. 90% of the people on this beach are taking pictures with their phones. So these people standing right there, keep zooming out. Wait, I need to go, boom. I need to go, no, I want to get you back to the center. There. They're right here. See them? So that's the size of the scale of what we're dealing with. And then in the hike out, the forest was there. So in this, anytime there's fog and forest, I get my camera out. I have a good time trying to find simplified compositions, which is really hard in a forest. So it was a great trip. Really, really fun getting to see these things. It clears your soul and mind. Yes, it absolutely does. So that was the trip. It's 1,500 miles. I got to stop in Portland, see friends. For one of my favorite well, you are all my favorite customers, but one of my dear friends for a number of years is Eric, Big E. He met me at Fire on the Mountain, and I got to have, my favorite sandwich with sweet potato fries. It's chicken on a ciabatta. Oh, it's the best sandwich, and there's no place in Idaho I have found that makes a sandwich anywhere close to that. I mean, just nuts. But Big E, Eric met me for lunch. We had a really nice little hang. Oh, here I am. This is, if you're ever in Portland, Oregon, you have to go to Fire on the Mountain. There's 3 of them. They have the best sandwiches, salads. They have like 20 different sauces for the wings that you can use. They have buffalo sauces and sweet sauces and buffalo and barbecue. And it's just the best. Let's see here. Is there anything else to show from the trip? Oh, the hike in and out. If you're wondering about the hike, this is the kind of trail that you're hiking up and down to get to the beach. Little things that they had. It's a good workout. So had a great time. Great for the soul. Great for the body. I'm glad to do it, and I want to do it again really soon. In fact, I think later today, Athena and I are going to go do some paddle boarding. We go to like Lucky Peak and get the paddleboard in the water and hang out and stuff like that. So it was really, really fun. A great trip. If you can get by water, it's the best thing for your ears on the planet. Whether you have tinnitus or not, it's still just the beautiful natural white noise, which leads to this. This is a folder of samples that I recorded when I was at the beach. And the original is 192. I've already downsampled it to 48 kilohertz. Let me put this into the screen so you can see. It's about right there to here. We're going to put this into Unify and you can have it. It's a 2-minute, right now it's 3 minutes. We're going to make it shorter, but it's ocean with waves. And you hear a little bit of low frequency. Let's get rid of that. So I'm using a program called Twisted Wave. It's $100 a year for it. It's my favorite sample editor on the Mac right now. And I'm just going to go to the app. One thing that's cool, you can't see. Let's see if I go like this. I don't think it's easy for me to change the Mac OS desktop to, oh, I can. Okay, I could move this over so it's over here. One of the cool things about this is that with Twisted Wave, when you go to effects, couple things. Change pitch and sound gives you the Synaptics DSP, which is the best pitch transposing and formant shifting and stuff. But on top of that, you can go to your audio effects and it gives you all of the effects that are on your computer that you can apply. And Apple actually makes some really nice effects and they make a high pass filter. So I'm going to recenter my screen again so it's right here. And go back here. And here's a high pass filter so we can hit play. I don't want any resonance. So we say down, no resonance. I'm just going to bring this up. I'm still hearing the wind. That's okay. So let's apply. That makes it smaller because it took out all that low frequency from the samples. You know what? I'm going to keep it in because we can actually add a high pass filter inside of Unify. Maybe you'll want the noise. It just gives you some of that. I don't want to lose. In the ocean, there's this sound of the waves way out there that just has this low end. I don't want to take that away from you. So, but there's a little bit of wind, so just be aware. You will have to account for that, okay? But we don't want the whole thing, and we need to loop it. So I'm going to take this sample. There's a free program I have told you about often from Bjorn Barr. He has the tools that we use inside of Unify. We're going to use both of these tools. His sample mapper is what we use to get samples into Unify. And this endless wave is what we can use. Let's see, hide that. Get the finder going. Let's drag this over here so that we can play it. Make sure you can hear the audio from this. Yeah. Yep, you see it and hear it. And I'm going to say I definitely want this first wave because it's super cool. So I'm going to have the loop be maybe from here to here. And maybe we'll bring the sample start in just a little bit. I'm going to use, this are your different crossfade types. There's 5 different crossfades. I like this one here, which is the combi crossfade, which does both a, it's the right crossfade because, and then it will draw over here so you can see it's not adding, a lot of these will add frequency content, see the frequency bump. The first 2 are your standard crossfades, which do phase. So you see the phase get canceled, which sounds like crap. This really cool one right here, there's no fade. Now let's get it a little bit sooner because I can see that the noise got a little bit more strong there. So let's say like after that wave right here, and we'll have it so that the start is about the same. So we're lining up where there's wave action for the loop. There. See? Super, super smooth and natural. So I go Command Shift N and say save before closing. Yes. And by doing that, I have now looped that so that now when I load this back into Endless Wave, it's gotten rid of all the excess. The crossfade has been burned into the sample. So it's just seamless. It sounds beautiful. Now we can go to Bjorn's sample mapper. And we need to copy this sample. And then we go to Unify, Libraries, to the, where is it at here? The Z Livestream bonus. We go to the samples folder and we paste the sample. Oh, I didn't copy it right. So just go over here and say grab, put it in here. And then I can now take from this folder and drag this over here and just say import with the import window, and it imports it in. And then I can go save here, let me move the screen over here to over here so you can see what I'm doing. I can go save, let's see, go back to sample mapper and go save SFZ as, and then it pops back here. So I'm going all over the place, but let's call this FX, second beach, ocean. Okay, save. But I saved it to the wrong location, I think. Wait, let's do this. I'm going to go save SFC as. I think I saved it into MegaMagic Bells. Don't want to do that. So let's resave it. I'll delete it from the MegaMagic Bells library after the live stream. Don't worry about that. Go back to the samples folder. Here's our layout for the samples. Here's where we save SFZs. And call this second, let's see, FX, second beach, ocean. There, quit. So I've looped the sample. I moved it into a folder inside of Unify. So now when I go back to Unify, let's go to that library, Z filter stream, turn off bonus that we see this. And there's nothing here like what there's this really cool patch that Paul made. So if you don't have this library, you'll definitely want it after we add the ocean to it. In fact, maybe we'll make a version of this and we'll put the ocean on the top of it just for a bonus, right? So if you want to do that, let's just add to this. So we go, we need to add an empty layer and we need it to be Guru Sampler. So we go Guru Sampler. So this empty layer, we're going to go to the Livestream bonus folder and we're going to go to Effects Second Beach. And there's the ocean. We want to say unpitched, and I'm going to give it a slow fade in, a little bit of slow fade out. So I could just leave it like this. And I have this beautiful ocean. But I kind of want to like put it on a note so I can start it, stop it, control the volume, all that kind of stuff, right? So let's do this. Let's tell this to be, I'm only on a 5-octave keyboard. For those with 88 notes, I apologize. But it's only going to play when I play high C. I'm going to go to the transport. And I'm going to also tell it only to be at C6. And then all these other note guys, I'm going to, let's see, I don't need to worry about you or you. But anything that plays the whole keyboard range, these guys, I'm just going to right-click them and say B. So they stop. So I only have the ocean on high C. I'm going to set my trigger mode to latch. And then I'm going to go to this ocean sample and change its play mode to mono latch. So now I can play. There's my ocean. And then when I play other keys, I can stop, scratch my chin, and play. Now, maybe we want to have a volume slider for the ocean. So let's say ocean volume. And let's open up this Guru sampler, hit the little ear, so it's blinking, move level. This level control inside a Guru sampler has smoothing. Now, what's going on? There shouldn't be anything else playing, right? I'm going to bring all this up a little bit. Oh, you know what it is? There's a long release on this. It's going forever. So let's have it be a little bit less of a release for the piano part. And actually, let's do this. Let's also put the rain. So we have a rainy ocean, and it only plays on the top notes. So we'll say top range goes to the max, go up to C, please, or G, and then stop here on this. So now I have and let's also have it control the volume of the rain. So I can hit the little listening ear, and I can move the volume here. So I can control the volume of both the rain. Actually, let's do it separately. Let's say rain volume. And let's do this. Let's right click. Let's see. 8. Copy this and get rid of it. And then open up this knob. And then if you've copied something to the buffer, it's just right here. So you say paste. So now I can have the ocean go away and have it be Costa Rica rain instead. Let's have it be a fast attack. Or a little fade in is fine. So I can combine the rain and the ocean. And I want to bring up all the pad stuff. Where's the piano? The piano's right here. Let's bring these up. Let's see here. There. Now, if you hit high C, you stop the ocean or start the ocean. So, and let's change the name of this because this is no longer the rain. This is the ocean rain. Ocean and rain piano symphony. All right. Save as. Save. Let's add a few comments here. Made during the July 19th live stream on YouTube. Update. Okay, so let me give this to you guys. Let me see if there's any questions in the comments. You are live. Oh, is move the Unify? You should be able to see, right? Oh, so oops. I wasn't looking at comments. Sorry, I get kind of lost in programming sometimes, if you know what I mean. So apologies. Let's get Logic's keys back up so you can see. Sorry about that. I was programming all this beautiful stuff and you couldn't see half. I'm sorry. There. And the ocean, let's double check. I'm going to put a high pass filter. Let's do this. So if you hold down Control and Shift, that can copy a knob and paste a knob. And Option will initialize it. I want this to be Ocean high pass filter. So let's go to the Ocean. We'll go over here to EQ, Filter Max. We were live. When I'm programming sounds, I go away sometimes. So I'm sorry about that. Hit the little ear, move the knob. There. So you can control where you want the ocean at. Let's maybe make it 24 dB. And I don't want it to be quite that much range. So one thing with Unify is you can go to the max range, click, you actually hear, and it moves the knob, which nobody else does. If I say that enough, I bet someday some plugins are going to show up that actually do that. But right now, still nobody does. So I can hear exactly where I want it to stop at. So I now have so now you can do your own Oliver Arnold's. Okay, so save. There's a lovely pad coming in. Reveal this in the Finder. I have a libraries folder here, which has the Crow Hill, which we're going to show in a minute. Let's get rid of that. Libraries. So here we go with the updated version of the bonus. Drag that over here. It's now 57 megabytes of free stuff. And all we have to do is get the name and then compress this. Give this that name with .guru. Yes, use guru, please. Let me go to Dropbox and find, right, here's the freebies folder, Z Livestream bonus. And let me put a little name on this. This is 0719. Okay, copy Dropbox link, and let's go to here, and here you go. Now, I gave you a link, but I was going to maybe make one more patch, so maybe don't download yet. Wait 1 minute. I'll give you a new link. Say you want to get rid of all of this stuff. Let's do this. Let's drag the ocean to the top spot. Right? So it's here. And I'm going to hold down Option and click Init. That will get rid of everybody but the ocean. And then I'm going to go over to the standard library, and I'm just going to call up the grand piano. So this would be a simplified version of what we were playing with. Let's do... maybe we'll do the intimate piano because it's a little bit more in the vibe of this. So let's go keys, acoustic intimate as a new Unify layer. And we're going to also have that stop at B. So this is just piano and just the ocean. And what's nice with this is I can open up this Unify layer like this, and I could go to any patch in the library. So that's why I want to do this. Let's say Ocean and Unify layer. So we go, let's see, this is just a made by yours truly. And this is Ocean recording from my trip to Second Beach in Washington. On layer 1, layer 2 is a Unify layer playing a patch. Open layer 2, choose any patch or build any patch to enjoy, if I can spell right, enjoy a patch plus Ocean. Scenic. I'm still hearing a little, just subtly, a little bit of the low frequency stuff, but it's not bugging me too much, so I'm not going to worry too much. And you can, again, oh, these got messed up, right? So, or no, they didn't. Unify is smart. Yay for Unify. So it kept them. So we still have, but we don't have a range, so we'll get rid of that and update, okay? So let me build the library one more time. So we go reveal and finder. So what this means is if you're in the Livestream bonus and you call up Ocean and Unify layer, play high C, that's your Ocean. And then this layer 2 is just Unify. And I could change this to any patch. Say I wanted to play a Rhodes. So I could go over here to Hydra Rhodes. Right? Or I could go to any library, like the new, I'm going to be showing you pocket strings. So here's pocket strings with the Ocean. And the Ocean is a little overwhelming. So I should have my knobs. So I can control the volume of the Ocean. Right? Or some of the other patches. Still got the Ocean playing. So, we'll talk about this new plugin in a second, but that's how it works with this patch, right? So it's really cool. So, reveal in the Finder. Go up here to Libraries. Let me copy this over here again. Yes, replace. We'll say compress. It should still have, let's see if it has the name. Nope, because it copied it from my Unify stuff. So if we go over here to the Z bonus live stream, copy, paste, 0719. Let me go back to here. And I'm going to get rid of that one that I put up there. So don't try to download it. I'm going to give you a new link. Guru. Use Guru. All you have to do is drag this over the interface of Unify and say OK. It will install the library just like that. OK. Yeah, let me compress it really quick. So compress this just to be safe between PC and Mac. I don't want it to get weird. There. So copy Dropbox link. Here is the link with the 2 patches. OK. So now you have one with the Unify Ocean, Unify layer, as well as Ocean and Rain Symphony. Play high C. And there's your ocean. Now, a couple things. If you want, if you open up the ocean and you go, I want to use a different sound effect, there's a whole bunch of sound effects inside of the Unify standard library. So if I go over here to Signs of Life, this has all those environmental sounds from Costa Rica. So I could go over here to Twilight and Frogs. So now I'm going to have Twilights and Frogs and the rain. And I can control the sound of the rain or just the night ambience. You always call during my live streams. I'll call you right back. Bye. My sweet kid. She calls me all the time. I love to talk to her. You could even put your own samples, loop them, and then just replace what Guru Sampler is calling up if you wanted to be a different sound. Here's the Cahuita Ocean, which is this ocean in Costa Rica. So, whole different ocean. So, I just want you guys to see the flexibility and how easy it is to modify these patches to your own personal taste. Say you want to use this, but you want to take it to a more spacey place. Take the rain and the ocean, go over here, go to modulation, say phase more. Maybe bring down the res. Go to the rate, slow it down. Now you've put a synthetic kind of a thing on it. Change the stages for different types of phasing. Bring up the resonance if you want that. If whistling flangers are your thing, then, or phasers are your thing, you could do that. So, super flexible. That's what Unify is all about, okay? And the new Dropbox link is, oh, sorry. See, I just get off on a tangent and forget all about it. Okay, so I forgot to give it to you. Here it is, right there. I think I did above. I just did it there. So, yeah, multiple links. And I'll put a link in the video description. In fact, I'll do that right now so I don't forget. Just release the... Let's see. Unified the patches. Just release it. Okay. Live stream bonus with Ocean. Download here. And there's the link in the video description as well. Oh, my description is too long. Oh, great. Okay. Save. Okay. So it's in the video description as well for you to download and enjoy. Now, the new plugin from Crow Hill, there's actually two I can show you. They have a new vaults as well as, if we go over here, we've unified this. I put a link in the video description for this already. You can download it. This is an interesting plugin. It's a cool idea. I don't like somebody in their marketing, it's like the definitive string library, and it's not. It's basically pizzicato, a legato patch, which has a very set envelope and pluck, a short, long, and pluck. That's not a definitive sample library of strings. But they're nice. If you like slow strings that always start from a 0 point kind of thing, I'm not a big fan of that all the time. It does have this gestures built in, so it can automatically go up and go down. So you don't have to program that in with your sequencer. But if you're trying to play any, it's way too slow. So I wish I had another one of these types of shapes that was a little bit more energy at the beginning. Doesn't exist. I have programmed all of the controls so that you have access to everything in the plugin from macro knobs, including such things as the selector. So you can like the other thing that's unique with this is that it has basically three. Let's go to the longs. You've got this orchestral. You've got Epic Analog, which is the Selena. Oh, wait, that's the CS80. Again, the slow envelopes just drive me nuts. And the vintage synth. They should call it slow pocket strings, not pocket strings, because it's always slow. But it's $13 or $14. In fact, I think it was $11 last time I checked. If I go Crow Hill, let's see, Hill, pocket strings. That's right here. I just wish companies gave you more flexibility. It's like you put all this work putting all these samples in here, and there's no envelope controls. You can't change anything about it. It's $14, so it's an interesting set, but it's very tailored to one type of string. Even though they have different vintage and they can do it in their programming. But we don't get access to those. They do, I guess, or something like that. So there's 12 different patches. Again, the link is in the video description for this if you want to play with it. The other thing they've released that is of note is under vaults. They keep adding new free content. It's not quite as cool as Labs because it's just one sound, but you can't complain when it's free. Bridge guitar is a guitar where there's this rubber bridge put on that gives it a plucky kind of a vibe. Which is nice. So that just came out. If you're into their free products, you can. I found that I wanted to put a high pass filter on this to get some of the low tonk out. Once I put it into a layer with things and stuff like that. But yeah, so crowhillcompany.com is where you go for this new plugin that they've released. By the way, I bought that. I didn't get it for free. I showed some support because they've sent free versions of most everything that they've done to me. I like to show support for companies that are generous like that. Hey, Fred. Welcome, man. All right. So, we're out of time. Well, let's make one patch really quick. We'll do one bonus patch for Bells N Winds. I wanted to do a wave sequence. So we're going to, I'm saying fast, but wave sequencing isn't super fast, but it is really fun. So we'll do this. Let's see. I want something kind of plonky. I'm going to build this from scratch. So you're going to watch this step-by-step process. We go MIDI effects. I'm going to say polybox. Let's just say 8 layers. So we're going to have 8 layers. I'm going to set this up like want this to list in polybox, MIDI channel 1. Give me 7 more of just like that. Okay, so it's now, each note is cycling through here. I'm going to go, I want to put a MIDI box. And this is interesting. Check this out. So if I go standard library, I'm going to use a drum groove, believe it or not. Let's go to just the drum singles. And let's say like an 8th note downbeat accent. And I'm on poly transpose, so when I play chords, right? Now, I'm just going to randomly go through. You can't see it because I'm, every Guru sampler window, I'm on a really big 49-inch monitor. So it's over here on the left. I'm just clicking like, I have no idea what I'm adding. I'm just, here, I'll move through this one here. So say back. Oh, there's some samples I have to fix. So that's clear. So let's say grain, I like the reverb because those have the cool attacks. So I'm just going through here and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 reverb. So you don't hear it yet, right? That's because MIDI box is not in front of polybox. As soon as MIDI box gets put in front of polybox, I need to change polybox's trigger mode over here where it says mode to chord AR. So this way it resets each time I take my hands off the keys. And it's wave sequencing, just like that. Now I just need to change each of these layers to be whatever I want it to be, sound-wise. Let's have this one go up an octave. Right? That's how it works. Let's say a longer release. So let that first one be a nice, but I want some rhythm in it too. So let's go over here, turn on our LFO, make me the custom shape, have it do filter cutoff. Change the shape. It's amazing how important it is to be able to change the LFO shape. Like, listen, changing the shape. Most things that are synthesizers don't let you change the LFO shape. It's so cool to do. So again, more companies, please start doing that. So let's go over here. Let's add something more complex. Let's do like sim. So I'm using layer 1 to ring out with the rhythmic element in it. And I'm going to play with pan, and then I want this one here to have a nice big splash of reverb. So that's how you do wave sequencing. You can do this with any layer, being any plugin you own. Just put a MIDI box in front of a poly box that's set up the way that I just showed you. Back up, watch the video again if you want. I'm just going to call this a Z BPM pad wave sequencing work in progress. And this will be a surprise once it shows up in the final version of the library. There's things I'm going to change and tailor, and it's got a ways to go. I've probably got another hour to work on it, but because I want to get this one right. So you get an idea. So at the beginning, the only leak that I said, which I told, it's not a leak, but one thing that Unify 2 can do is this image is incorporated into the patch background visually in a really cool way. That's why we're doing custom images for everything. In fact, Fred started this. It's all Fred's fault. He did it with Endbringer for his library. And then I did this for CloudForm because knowing that when you load up Unify 2 and call up this patch, you're going to see this when you play the sound is really cool. Super, 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 super cool. So for Bells N Winds, we're doing that where every patch. So you don't have to click this to see the artwork. It will be there for you. So it's not a leak. That's public knowledge. But that's all I'm saying about it. We're hoping 2 months, 3 months at the most before Unify 2 is out. Fingers crossed. Software is just one of these things. It takes longer than you expect. But I can't even tell you how excited I am. It's nuts. So yep, it's well, Fred, you've been doing that for a number of libraries. Fred's libraries automatically load up inside of Unify 2 and all have these really cool images for all those libraries that he's made the Unify versions for with custom images. Boom, they're there. Super, 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 super cool. So anyway, thank you. Let's do our shout outs. It's good to be back. I'm all fired up from my little trip. You guys have no idea what's coming. I can't. And I am the worst at leaking. I want to tell you guys all about all the features right now. So it is like I am like having to like pinch my arm really tight to keep my lips shut because there's just some incredible stuff coming. Even more than, it's just like when I'm working with, I worked with Shane and it's the same magical things are happening with Paul, where there's a synergy where ideas get started, they go to much different places than you expect. And I'm getting goose pimples thinking about it. So you guys have no idea what's coming and I can't wait. So we'll just leave it at that. Thank you for joining us for the live stream. If you have questions, Taylor and myself mostly it's Taylor at unifysupport@pluginguru.com. We're here every week, just so you know that we're here and that we appreciate you. There's a sale at the website this weekend. $20 is off automatically. You just go to pluginguru.com, go to the products page, scroll down the list of all the libraries. There's like 150 libraries now. Most all of them except for CloudForm and Bob Dedes' new library, SHOGUN, and Unify. Those are the three things that are not incorporated in this sale, but Hyperion, you can save $12 on it or $20 on it. All these libraries that go all over the place and do all sorts of really beautiful things. Each one transforms your plugins into a totally new universe. So $20 is in your pockets. Go spend it. Well, you go save it, I guess would be the right words to say. But anyway, thank you all for joining. A drink of water for Arizona. Yes, Arizona needs water. Well, it's nice. It's a beautiful. I'm just standing there, soaking that in for 36 hours, guys, and that's just it's heaven. Takes me back there. Wonderful. Good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. Try to always come up with something fun for you guys, for you all. Woohoo! Yeah. Go save some money. Thank you for your support. It's a win-win. You save, you get to have a library of new sounds, and you keep me going and recording oceans to give to you and stuff like that. So thank you again for your support. We'll see you next week in another live stream. I'll be here. And hands together, head bowed. Appreciate you all. All right? Bye, everybody.